What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how I cover my acne, the makeup I wear when I am broken out. As you can see, it's pretty much all covered right now. This is the completed look, and I basically broke out a few days ago, worse than normal. And I just thought I would show you guys some of the techniques I use because my skin is very up and down and kind of like random with its breakouts. Like sometimes I don't really know what causes them or what the issue is. So I just thought I'd show you a little makeup tutorial, a little uplifting moment. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So this is my face right now. As you can see, I am pretty broken out right now. This is not one of the best times for my skin, although I do have a lot of times where I am not broken out. This just happens to be an exception. So I already have applied my skincare. I have quite a glowy base because I do have dry skin. So I'm going to be starting off with a foundation that I just recently bought, but I actually have been liking it quite a bit. It's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. And I think this one's great because it is not like matte and drying, which is not what I like because I have dry skin. So it can be kind of hard to find products that do have enough coverage when you have acne, but you also have dry skin. So this is the foundation I'm going to be using today. I am in the shade 415. I'm going to be taking one pump on the back of my hand. This honestly might even be a little too much because I don't use a whole ton of foundation. I like to focus more on spot concealing. But for now, we're going to be using this brush. This is a Real Techniques brush. And I'm just going to take the foundation and dot it on my face. Mostly focusing on my cheeks and the inner part of my cheeks because that's where most of my acne is concentrated, although I do have some all over. I'm gonna blend that out with the Real Techniques brush. And if you see me looking to the side, it is because I have my mirror positioned to the left of my camera. So yeah. I think this foundation does a pretty good job covering acne in the first place, although it does have a more dewy to natural finish. So I find that it does cover quite well, but still keeps that natural dew to the face, which I like because if you've seen my other makeup videos and my makeup preference in general, I do prefer dewier bases and products just in general because I have dry skin once again. So that's the base right now. As you can see, some of my acne is still peeking through. So I'm just gonna be taking some concealer now, and this is where the magic really happens. The concealer we're gonna be using today is tried and true. I have used it for about 5 years now, since 2015. It has been my ride or die concealer, and it is the Makeup Forever. It's rubbed off, but it's Makeup Forever Full Cover Extreme Camouflage Cream, and it is waterproof as well, which is a huge plus because then if it's the summer and you just want to do some spot concealing, maybe at the beach, you can still do that and it lasts forever. It is quite full coverage, but you can sheer it out, which is what I like. Like on a normal day, I'll dot some on my cheeks and just go with that instead of foundation. But today, for the purpose of my breakouts, we were using foundation. But I just take a little bit on the back of my hand. This much should be good. And we're gonna start spot concealing. Now, a trick I've learned from a few makeup artists like Lisa Eldridge, and I think Katie Jane Hughes does this as well, but don't quote me on that. But it's using a very small brush to pinpoint conceal your concealer for your blemishes. So I'm going to be taking a little bit on this brush and I'm just going to be putting it on the spots. We'll do this big scab as well. Now the difference is that I find it a little hard to blend with these little brushes, so I kind of just pinpoint a little bit, make sure I have enough concealer on there. And then after I've pinpointed, I take my finger and I dab it in. I find that rubbing doesn't work as well because, you know, it can tug at your foundation underneath, but just dabbing lightly, I find that it conceals the acne quite well. And I do, rather than slow dabbing motions, I do faster dabbing motions because, wow, I'm saying dab a lot. I'm so sorry. But as you can see, it's pretty covered, but you might have to go in a couple times because it is a layering process. This isn't one of those concealers that I find is full coverage right off the bat. It's like full coverage once built up, despite the name saying it is full cover camouflage. It does take a bit of building. And once I am satisfied with how much I have built it up, then I will move on to my other blemishes. And another trick I have learned too is that you shouldn't be using a concealer lighter than your skin. You should be using one that blends into the same color as your foundation, because using a lighter concealer can highlight the pimple more and make it a little more noticeable. So you want to make sure that your concealer is a good match with your foundation, rather than using, say, one you use for highlighting under the eyes. You want to use more of like a concealer of this consistency. They work a lot better, in my opinion, for spot concealing. With the little bit of extra concealer I have on the back of my hand, I'm going to conceal my under eyes. I know a lot of people might not like a concealer of this consistency for under eyes, but honestly, in my opinion, I think this one's great for all over the face. I think it works really well, and it doesn't crease on me, surprisingly. I know I don't have like big bags or creases under my eyes, but I don't find creasing with this. And say another concealer that I've been using recently is the NYX Born to Glow, and this one does crease on me. And it is kind of like a similar like tube style, but is a very different consistency. Now I'm going to quickly do my brows off camera, since they're not really the focal point of this tutorial. Don't really want to spend too much time on them, but if you want a brow tutorial in the future, definitely comment down below. There's another thing I'd like to touch on about the concealer. You can still kind of see the acne peeking through, especially this one little scar I have right there, or scab right now. But I do like kind of the look of it showing through a little bit, just because it makes the look a little more natural, like, oh, a little bit of your natural skin is peeking through. Another step I would recommend too, to make the look look more natural, would be to apply fake freckles with a product like Freck, or even just an eyebrow pencil like a skinny one like this. But for the purpose of how long I want this video to be, I'm not going to be showing you how to do that today, but I might do it in the future as well. You can also see I did not set my face yet. In general, I'm not going to be setting the whole face because of my dry skin, but if you do have oilier skin, you can definitely set the face at this point. I think it's a good time to just set everything in if you need to, but I find that this foundation does last quite a while on its own, so I think I'm good for the day. So now some more exciting steps. We're gonna go in with some contour. Now this is the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Amber. I recently picked this up with the Sephora VIB sale just because the color really intrigued me. It's a really cool toned brown, and because I have a lighter fair skin tone, I figured it would work pretty well for me. So I'm gonna be taking this Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush brush, and I'm just gonna be going in there a little bit and lightly packing it onto my cheek. And the nice thing too is that I don't have any acne in my central like under cheekbone area, so I can still contour and bronze, thankfully. But when I do have acne around that area, I prefer not to bronze or contour, just because it can lift up product. But since I didn't cover any pimples around there, I am going to be contouring. And then we'll go a little bit on the forehead as well. Make the face look more snatched. Overall, I do really enjoy this product if you have a similar skin tone to me. The color can be a little scary, but it does work well when you layer a warmer bronzer on top of it, which I will be doing. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. It's so cheap, but I find that the tone works really well for my skin tone if you have a more neutral type skin tone like me. So I'm just going to be sweeping that down my cheeks, lightly dabbing as well, patting it in, because if you sweep too frequently or too quickly, you can lift up product, and that is what we don't want to be doing today because of the fact that we just spent all that time concealing our acne. So taking it on the forehead as well, and the jawline. And keeping in mind that this is a more natural type of coverage face look, I do want to add some flush back to the cheeks. So now one of my favorite parts of makeup is always blush. Today I'm going to be taking the CoverGirl blush in, what is the shade? This is Iced Cappuccino, I believe, shade 130. So I'm going to be taking that on a more angled brush like this and just packing some product on there. I do find this is a stiffer powder, so I need to pack it a little more, and then dusting off some of the excess. I think this is a beautiful nude blush because it's not too pink, but it still kind of blends in. The nose, which I love doing for that sunburnt look, and then sweeping it across the cheeks. This may intimidate a few people because I know blush can be a little intimidating at first, but if you're no stranger to blush like me, I love just sweeping it on like that. A step I am actually skipping that some people may be shocked at is highlighter. I find that with this dewier base, I don't really need a highlighter because powder highlighters and cream ones, to be honest, like say this one, like it can add a kind of look to your skin that makes it look less natural. And as well, adding those powders on top, if you have acne in your higher cheekbone area, it can make it look more prominent and draw more attention to it. So we will be skipping highlighter today, but if you want to add some, feel free to if you don't have acne in that area. Now is the time where I'm going to powder my face. I like to do this after some of the other products are on, such as bronzer and blush and highlight, just because then I can figure out where after all this time oil has started to develop, or if it just looks unnaturally greasy in certain areas, I want to tone it down a bit. Like for example, the under eye, although I don't find that the Makeup Forever concealer needs to be set necessarily, but I am going to be setting it with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I have the shade 04 Sandstorm. So just tapping off the excess and just patting that under my eyes. As you can see, I prefer to do dabbing motions with most things rather than sweeping, with the exception of blush, of course, or bronzer sometimes, but I find that it just applies the product so much better and more evenly when you do that, especially when you're covering acne. Although this was a skin-based tutorial, I would love to show you a lip combo that I have been in love with recently. So I picked up the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner during the Sephora VIB sale, and I have to say it is one of my favorite new purchases. It adds such a natural look to the lips, but still makes them look more full, and it has that brown tone, and I love brown toned lipsticks. Like Glossier Leo is one of my favorites. I honestly use that one like a lip liner, so when I got this, it was just the perfect lip liner for me. Then I just rub my lips together a little bit, blend that in, and I could honestly leave it just here. I think it looks beautiful on its own, but it might be a little bit drying. I haven't quite tested out the longevity of this lipstick liner on its own. So I'm going to be adding the Clarins Lip Comfort Oil in 03 Red Berry. I love this. It gives the shine of a gloss without being sticky because it is an oil, and it's perfect. I'm gonna just do a little bit, rub my lips together, and I think we're almost done. I just did my lashes off camera because I don't really have a good mascara to show you guys right now, and I don't really want to waste more time because this is already gonna be a pretty long video. Well, this is the finished makeup look. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I taught you some tips that you can hopefully use in the future if you do struggle with acne like me. I just want to let you all know that you are beautiful with and without makeup. Don't let your acne define you. You are wonderful with or without it. I know we all struggle at times with breakouts, some worse than others, like right now with me, but yeah. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. I'm gonna try to be posting more videos, maybe a skincare routine soon, so I can show you guys how I combat acne that way as well. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!